Okay, Rick, I'm about to start again. Let's see whether you can hear me or not. Fingers crossed, eh? Car racer. That doesn't seem like the thing I was trying to look at. Video preview. Testing, testing, testing. Fingers crossed, eh? Ugh, come on, come on. Mercury bugger. Says I've been streaming for 34 minutes. That's good. Check my levels. Seems okay. Not seeing a whole lot there. Why is my computer so slow? Oh, sweet, I can hear something. Oh, sweet, I can hear something. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Oh, it's all echoing like crazy now, so that's good. Okay, that means I should be able to press a button, and you should actually be able to see the bit that I need you to see. Whee, there it goes. Yeah, there'll be a bit of an echo. Sorry about that. Yeah, I guessed it was you on chat, Rick. To be honest, I don't get many people on chat, so it's kind of fairly easy to guess. I'm like the world's least popular Twitcher at the moment. I think there's a what do you call it? Like 5-10 second delay or something. No, I don't think that. Oh wait, is it making that clicking sound? Yeah, there we go. I must have it right next to the microphone. Sorry about that. But at least it's working now, so that's a good thing. Can you still hear me? Well, I'll be turning off the microphone soon enough. It's just so that I can turn it on and off, you know, or whatever's. I don't know. I wanted to watch like YouTube videos. I think Ryan St. Forbes is about to say hello. Hello, Ryan. I'm afraid it's not pornography. Sorry, everybody. I'm just about to start doing a quick bit of build work for game dev for the Clinic software. This is part of the Twitch stuff that I do. Bear with me because I am really, really tired. I like how Facebook will randomly stop working sometimes. Fills me with no end of cheer, that does. Yeah, the phone thing was almost certainly from, what do you call it? The phone being literally right next to the microphone. It's a good microphone as well, so go figure. But yeah, it's like. Anyway, I'm going to get bizzed, so I shall chat to you in the chat room. That's what the chat window is for. And I'm going to get busy. Now, if you don't know how to use 3ds Max, tough fucking shit. I really can't be asked to teach people again for another 15 years who aren't going to give me any money. So, seems a bit harsh, but there you go. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm coming up with a basic table design. So I want a table that's basically 3 meters long, according to this, which seems quite long. There you go. If we look at the average height of Billy Biped here, being 180. God, I got that right first time. See, so if I was to like, lie him down all sleepy style, you can see that plenty of room on the desk. So that's the kind of the right size. Yeah, I know you learned your max from me. That's why you've got like a cushy job, you see, and I hang out outside bus stations doing things to chaps for money. Anyway, let's have a look. So my table needs to be more than just a ornate slab, really. So I'm going to just drag that up to the correct height being one that I can get this chair underneath. So I'm just going to look at it and try and get to the point where obviously I don't want the arms intersecting with the chair. Okay, I want anyone who's giving the impression they're going to sit on this chair, that it's going to bloody fit. Okay, clipping equal bad. Okay, chair's job's done. See a chair. Right. Now for this, I'm going to zero on the X and Y axis, so 0, 0. This is a new thing for you see, Rick, because I never used to do any of this, actually using type-ins and precise measurements back in the day. Now, I use this shit all the time now. It's pro. Now, like I was saying, table's more than just a box, and I'm not going to have 4 legs on it. I've been using a lot of inspiration from things like James Bond movies and all that kind of sexy stuff. So I'll just close these windows down. I'm just leaving Facebook again. There we go. Okay, so I just want to get a kind of a rough shape for what I want here, because what I want is I want a nice wood, but I also want this wood to have kind of an inlay going on and some other cool stuff. And I want it to be modular. I think that's kind of important. So what I'm going to do is make a second copy of this. See there? And this one's going to be at minus 150. Why minus 150? Because it's only going to have a width of 150 in the first place. See, like that. Oh. Did that work? No, not really. Never mind. So 225 really, isn't it? There, that works. Okay, so now I have an end piece to the table here, you see, to make an extra long boardroom style table. Or I've got like the middle part of the table here. I don't have any legs yet, but I'm not going to let that worry me, because I want to get an overall kind of look and feel to these pieces before I do anything. 2 pieces so far, yeah. So, first of all, I'm going to right click, convert to editable poly. You can tell I'm feeling knackered. I'm just really not in the mood for doing this stuff at the minute, but I'm going to anyway. Okay, so first of all I want to curve these edges. Now this is for a game model, and as we can see, you know, this is what, 6 polygons, so it's not going to challenge even the shittiest of game engines. So I'm just going to drag straight through the middle here, and I'm going to do some chamfering, and just do it by eye. So there you go. If you're not used to visual chamfering by eye, well, your problem, not mine. Okay, so 1, and then maybe another one like that. Now the problem I've got here is I now have to replicate it on this one here. So let's see if I can replicate it on this one without making a nasty error. To be honest, it's not as hard as it looks, it's just working my eye really. So click and drag it through here. So Rick, how's LA treating you all, buddy? There we go, a little bit more maybe. No, that didn't work, did it? See if we can do it again. If not, I'll just do them both at the same time. That'll do, solid, it's close enough. Little gaps and edges and junk, works for me. Okay, now what I need to do is I'm going to put an edge through this, and I'm going to narrow those parts there. So this is just doodling really. So if you're watching my channel, hey, welcome aboard. Yeah, chamfer man, can't go wrong with it. So you've been up to much recently, Rick, or still working like crazy for the polygon smashing companies? In. Like I say, I like this shape, so I just really want to kind of get something going here. You know, just see if I can just make it work, really. Now I'm going to delete that part. Bye-bye, Mr. Polyogon. Houdini's the way it is. Houdini's the way it's going now. I hear so many times off people, you know, oh, Houdini is the next best thing. Ragu Caster, one of the old 3D palettes, like super duper chaps, he uses it a lot and absolutely loves it. So Now, what I was going to do here was I was going to actually angle this part up here, but I don't really think I need to if I can use something like a quick slice and just get the angle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a slice plane on this. So just select it all and get my plane out. Hey, what you doing? There's the plane, you see. And use angle snap, because otherwise this will get monumentally fucked up. Oh, sorry, am I not supposed to use bad language? Right, and I'm just going to change the angles on this. Yeah, I completely understand, man. It's like I'm doing stuff now. This is what, 20 degrees. Let's do 25 degrees. Sort of. I'm doing stuff like all the time now for this project, and it kind of takes the joy out of wanting to do other stuff in your own time because you just don't want to. I need to just shuffle this along. I mean, I'd say when I finish game dev, I like want to go off and do something else, but I don't, because I'm doing it at home. There's no escape. Okay, just going to click slice, and then remember this is 20 degrees for all you guys who weren't paying attention or just don't give two shits. So let's take it to maybe minus, I don't know, not too much of a minus, you see, so minus 40 should do it. And just bring that shit in. Yeah, there's no way that was right. Is it minus 40 after all? I don't know, or minus 30 or something, I don't know. Let's have a look. Does that look right? Yeah, that looks right. Yeah. See? Yeah, you should do, man. You should totally do that. You going anywhere nice? Just going to do a quick slice. That's if he hasn't sneaked off already, which he might have done, to be honest, because, you know, Rick. That's what he does. Zooms away. I'm like, where's Rick gone? It's like Christmas. Okay, I'm going to take off. Oh, I was about to say, you're still going out with that lovely lady, so pleased to see things are still going cool. You're still working at blah blah blah. I don't know if Zerflag's still working there or not. I occasionally see posts from him like on Facebook. All his posts seem to be like arch conservative kind of usual stuff. Oh, that's cool, man. How long you guys been going out now? Must be a while. Remember you still had that pallor of like almost teenage excitement when you first started going out with her? I don't know if I can, let's have a look. No, I should be able to close that, shouldn't I? Bloody hell, really? Jesus, didn't realise it was that long. Way to go, Rick. So does she live in Texas or just work down there? Oh, I still hate bridge. Sometimes it works, and other times you just got to do it manually. I thought I'd got away from manually doing bridge, but no. Bridge never lets you forget. Dink. Oh, that's cool, man. So you're going down to say hello to the family there too. Acceptance, man. That's a cool thing. I know there's easier and quicker ways of doing this, but I'm just farting around. I'm not really teaching anyone anything. I'm just, you know, on Twitch because it's here. Trying to persuade people. Oh, dude. Bachelor life equals over. Nicely done. You're going to have to get the time eventually because obviously the company you're with pays you big bucks to come over to Blighty and then we can hang out and I can show you bad dentistry and warm beer, which is obviously all we have over here. Just delete these. Now you see these edges here, I don't need these edges, so it seems kind of redundant actually having them. So, actually it was pretty funky the other day, well the other week actually. Durham Cathedral, which is just kind of down, well it's 11 miles from here, you know, it's not far at all. And that's where they filmed Harry Potter and the Chamber of Shit, or whatever you call it. And they were filming, I think it was Infinity War. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were filming Infinity War there, because they were using it as some sort of weird palace. So they'd filled it with like mad statues and stuff like that. Yeah, it was really cool. Some of my friends who like come to the biker bar for karaoke were working down there security, which was pretty funky. Right, now I want an inlay on this table, okay, because otherwise we're just going to have this simple gay-ass looking table. But yeah, it was mad, because obviously everyone was camping out there in the hope of, like, you know, seeing Robert Downey Jr.'s cock or whatever it was. And naturally it wasn't going to be happening. Not seeing his cock, I mean, like, seeing anything at all, really. Okay, so an inlay of 10. And then an inlay of 2. Okay, so that gives us these two different things. So I've got this inlaid pattern, interior and exterior there. Okay, so we can put metal in. Yeah, I think they had Chris, whatever the fuck his name is, he plays Thor. I don't know who else was down there, because it was all like big secret stuff. The security dudes weren't even allowed to admit that it was like Avengers, even though it was like so obviously Avengers. It was hilarious. Remember what we did before, by the way? If you're paying attention, it was in set 10. Christ, I'm actually teaking at things. And then in set 2, I think it was. I can't remember. No, I got it wrong. 10. And then 2. Yeah, that looks right. Tick. Yeah, this was just security. I mean, I knew it was going to be batty as shit, but... I mean, I remember, like, there was talk about the NDAs we were going to have to sign when, we were supposed to be working on the new Star Wars Force Awakens special effects. There was like a team of us. There was myself and about 6 other like pretty well-known very well-known hard surface dudes. And we were supposed to be working out of some place. Well, it was, you know, the studios down in London where they do so much of the stuff anyway. But we were supposed to be like designing stuff for this like enormous 3D printer at the time. And we were supposed to be signing all sorts of funky NDAs, and just unfortunately it never happened. I think what happened was, I'm sorry, I'm just making the underside of the thing now. There we go. One height segment, and just keep the 18 sides. What was supposed to be happening was, obviously we were supposed to be going down there and being the art team that was like doing the shit down there. But the director had decided that he wanted to do most of the work in America because he wanted to be near his family. So like, fuck you, director. I didn't get to make any fucking TIE fighters, and I was sad. Right, anyway, right click, convert to editable poly. God, it makes it much more interesting when you're talking to people on this. Yeah, well, I mean, I remember when they were doing the matte painting originally, when it was like old school matte painting, and that stuff was proper. It was really interesting to look at. But, I mean, their matte paintings from like 1977, well, 1976 still hold up really well now. Okay, I'm just going to do a bevel on this, okay, for this thing. So what I'm going to do is, there's a couple of ways you can do it. You could go like, oh, look at that, I made myself a pillar, and then just see, that's the most boring thing in existence. So we'll assume that this is an office that has a bit of money. So I'm just going to sweep this in a little bit. And then I can apply smooth to it afterwards. Okay, so just, you know, have a think to yourself about how does angle work. They're a bit like magnets, no one's entirely sure, but, you know. There we are. That gives us an enormous piece there, which is, in my opinion, far too big. What were you doing? Tell me to make something that big. That was foolish. So let's do it again. I'll put a small lipped bevel on the edge here, which I can then reduce more, and then inset it a bit. Okay, that gives us this flat area here. Then you've got something to put your feet on, which is important. Right, now I'm going to bevel. My middle son has gone off to the Download Music Festival, so he travelled down this morning. So hopefully he's having a nice time, meeting interesting ladies who don't wear very much clothes and listening to the devil's music. At least I hope so, for the amount of money it cost him, which I think was like £270 or something. It's not cheap going to these festivals. You certainly wouldn't get me in one of these bloody fields. I'm far too old for this nonsense. Okay, now I'm going to hit F3 so I can just see through the table, because I want to get this more or less right. Just extrude up, straight up, and then delete. Reason being now that I can just adjust this to exactly the height I need. Like so, and we don't have a top polygon for me to worry about. Not that I was going to worry about it anyway, to be honest, Rick, you know what I'm like. I rarely worry about polygons. Okay, and now what I can do is I can select all these delicious polygons just here. By the way, for anyone who's tuning in expecting some young popular kid screaming about ghosts or shit, I don't do that, sorry. I'm like 45, I'm old, I'm jaded. Generally I hate the 3D industry. So, I'm afraid if you're looking for inspiring words and stuff, most of them are going to be, don't work in the 3D industry. Because most of the time it's not very nice. Especially if you work for Electronic Arts, because then they'll lock you up in their little rape caves. They'll force you to work 97 hours a day. Right, I'm going to chamfer this. That way we'll get a nice little curve just here. If you're not used to hand chamfering, just, you know, either practice or just use the typing. I don't care. I'm not going to see it. It's not like you're making this for my benefit, so I'm really not going to know about it. Okay, I'm just going to chamfer this bit, so again, just going to freehand chamfer. I just need to do it the once, because if you look, we already kind of started building a chamfer there. There we go, you see? That wasn't very hard, was it? Okay then. Now, the whole idea with this is now that we have 3 items, because bear in mind, I'm just copying this item here, see? So, I'm still not 100% about the actual width of this piece here, so I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to select this edge and just do a grow. Well, I just double clicked it, it was simpler. And then Control select by polygon and grow. By the way, if you're on the game development Twitch channel, I don't know what it's called, I'm not very good at this kind of thing, but anyway, if you're on that, hello, how's it going? This may not look like game development, but you don't always want an asset flip, to be honest. Sometimes you want some original stuff. That's why the game journalists review things very crossly and badly. Okay, now I'm going to take all these and I'm going to apply a smooth to them. Okay, so I don't know how long I've been doing this for. I care even less. So it's S for smooth. I was going to just listen to some music or actually just, you know, watch Inspector Morse in the background. But I was having so much fun talking to Rick. But unfortunately now Rick's gone off to do stuff. I'm all alone. No one's talking to poor old Chris. Which is a shame. Okay, so as you can see we've done that now. Convert to editable poly. Now the only thing I don't like here is you see this gap. You don't get these in furniture. You know, you break into an office and go and have a look. Just take a hammer or something, you know, smash in the window and have a quick look. And you'll not see that. Because these two parts connect together and then there's normally a fucking great big screw underneath. So, what I'm going to do here, I've got 2 options. I could either chamfer it wide and then extrude in, or I could just chamfer the belt, chamfer the actual edge, which, well, extrude the actual edge, sorry, not chamfering. What am I talking about? So, I can do that, you see. Just right, because I don't want it too much of a lip, but I do want a little indent. There we go. And that just gives us the impression there's a teeny gap there, just between them. Okay, and that's important because I say it is. Because it looks proper, that's why. That's the only reason you need. Right, so we've got 3 items here. Unwrapping them isn't exactly going to tax us. So this is going to be, let me see, modern table support. Okay, this way we know what it is. This is modern table. Center. And this will be modern table end. And now I have to unwrap all these things, which could take me years, quite frankly. I might just die of old age while I'm doing it. So first of all, I'm going to just select that and go to my unwrap UVW and just open my UV editor. Do a Control I. I could just literally cylindrical wrap it, I suppose. If I felt so inclined, like that. No, that's kind of it. I mean, there's some polygons that are kind of close together, I suppose. But you kind of get the point. Another option I could do is just get a mapping and just flatten it. I don't know, maybe make this 55 degrees. Do that. And that also works. Yeah, I mean, it's not great for these middle parts, but to be honest, these middle parts we can do the old-fashioned way anyway, because if you look, we've got these ends, which is what we wanted. So if I was to just come in here, not bad. What are you doing? Get back, get back. You still there, Rick, or have you had to leave to do Rick stuff? Whatever that may be. I reckon he's had to leave to do Rick stuff. He's got a very important job as young Rick, you see. He works for one of them big studios. What makes stuff. And he used to be one of my students years ago. But now he's talented. This happens a lot with my students. They get really talented and then they have to go somewhere. Okay, that looks pretty cool, and we'll take that away. So make sure this is disconnected, and I can just do that like so. Bring that perhaps over to there. Okay, now I'm looking at this. I'm not feeling overjoyed that that is, you know, yeah, exactly. Let's see what I can do. So I'd rather have this more not horrible. Now bear in mind, usually I just kind of go hog wild and not bother in the slightest, but just use automatic unwrapping galore. But I don't even know why I'm bothering this time either. I think I just want it to be a little bit more tidy, to be honest. There we go, so go all the way out to there, and I'm just going to do a quick fit on the projection map there, and then bring that into there like that. Not too much though, because I don't want it going over the edge, because if it does, then we get errors, you see. I don't want those. There we go. Now this part here going around the outside, unless I'm mistaken, which is very unlikely, is going to need a cylindrical map, so let's come around it. It won't take very long. I wouldn't worry, like, all the hard stuff's done now, it's just me chatting away. I wondered if anyone else is going to chat in the channel, or if I should just turn my microphone off and go back to watching 1980s detective dramas. I don't know which one I enjoy more. There we go, so we've got all those, and I'm just going to do that, and do that, and do that. Now, I'm just going to open this up, because you may have noticed this is obviously needing to be resized. I'm just going to bring that down to around about there. Just as wide as I can get away with then. A bit about there. Okay, I know it's only a bit of chair, but you know, we may as well try our hardest to optimise this stuff a bit. Now, the top here, I'm pretty sure that these, yeah, I was right, these are that bit. So what I can do is do it again. See, it's madness, isn't it? And then I can just squeeze that up as well. Now I appear to have an extra bit for whatever reason. I think that extra bit could be that bit, I'm not sure. But you know what? I'm not going to lose any sleep about it. And then I'm going to take this bit, stick it in there, like that. Just widen these as much as I can really without warping them too much. There we go. Okay, and to be honest, as a colour ID, I don't really need to do much. It depends. Do I want to... Oh, I'll just collapse this. Do I want to have like chrome and then something different on it? You know what? I might do. Let's do 2 colours on this. So I'm going to grab that all the way down to there. Go to materials, and I'm going to make this dark. And then I'm going to change the diffuse colour to not black, but dark. And then apply it. And then this one light. There you go. And I'm going to make material light. But you think to yourself, man, I wish I was watching that midget porn now. There we go. 3 viewers. That must be a record. Look how busy my chat's been. Okay, so Control I, and then just assign that to the inverted side. The reason I've done that is so that I can export that in due course. Now, course. This is my table. It is beautiful and I loves it. So I'm going to do an Uvw map like that. No, an unwrap Uvw, sorry. Then I'm going to open my UV editor and probably just box map it, to be honest. Or yeah, this one will do. On flat mapping. There we go. That's done. Quite nicely as well. So hope you weren't expecting anything more complicated, because it didn't happen. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to assign my light material to, come back here, the entire table, except for, you may remember the 4 polygons there, there, and there. Okay, and to those ones I'm going to apply the other material. This is not texturing, by the way. All I'm doing is I'm preparing this stuff for a colour map later. Alright, so these two aren't even going to be sharing the same texture, so don't get all freaked. Okay, and then UVW, well, unwrap UVW, there we go, open UV editor, Control A, right you are, mapping, flatten, done. Easy peasy. Right, close that off, collapse it again because why the heck not. And again, this kind of inlay area here, so blink. Oh, this one's got way too many polygons, man, it's blowing my mind. It really isn't. Okay, there we go. I do talk some crap sometimes. Someone was saying to me, like, I'm impressively sarcastic sometimes. I was like, thanks. Very kind of you to say so. I'm just jaded, you know. I've got no money. I'm doing game development. I used to have like 124,000 people on my website. And then Facebook came and basically did a bit all fuck you, so no, I don't get that no more. Okay, now then, I'm going to affect my pivot only. So you see that? That's my pivot only. And I'm going to press the align button and align the pivot to that. Okay. Then I'm going to take this one, affect pivot only, and align that pivot to that. Okay. Okay, now I need to save this, so Control S, and I'm going to save it as, let's see, so it's in my stuff, new folder, modern table, that's what it is. I'll put 1 because I may decide to make different variations of the modern table. How are you 3 guys doing in channel, by the way? Are you still watching, or Have you gone off to, I don't know, vigorously examine yourself to Game of Thrones episode? I don't know what people do nowadays. I'm not cool. Anyway, I'm going to unwrap this. So let's start with this one. This one doesn't really need to be too high res, but I'll unwrap it at high res anyway. So I've got modern table support, use existing channel, add, diffuse map, 2048 for the time being, because I can reduce it but I can't like increase it, if you know what I mean. And render. Yeah. Now we wait patiently and oh no, it's wrong. Can you see what's wrong? Yeah, I've got shadows. This window is a colour map. How can I possibly fix that? I'll need thousands of hours, or I could just remember to use the skylight. That's that fixed. Render. Oops, forgot to select the right bit. There we go. Yeah, don't show it again. Oh, there we go. Solid blocks of colour, almost. Isn't it cool? Won't take long. Although it does take longer, funny enough, than calculating the shadows. Always found that strange. Anyway, as you can see, now I have the two solid colours, which is all I want. I don't want anything more than that. We can also see where that little chunky bit at the top is missing a piece, interestingly. Anyway, let's just... this is modern table support colour map. Yeah, just so I know what it is, and I'm saving that as a target. Done. And now that I've done that, I'm going to apply my third material to the entire thing. So that it's only got one. Select it. Export it. Oop, no, I was exporting everything there. Export. Selected. And I'm going to export it to modern table support. And it's gone. Okay, next one is going to be this one. So again, press 0, which closed the window that I already had open. This selected. Scroll down and add a diffuse map. There we go. It sounded weird there for a minute. 2048 again. And use existing channels gone, so yeah, continue. And here we go again. So this will just give us the table with the inlay pattern, which needed to sound like a shiny gold or something like that. Who knows? It's quite looking forward to putting a nice wood on this. I could take up all 3 pieces on. I'm not going to. What I'm instead going to use is an advanced little bit of software called Notepad. Hello, Notepad. And that way I can write down the things as I'm using them, and then I'll remember. Okay, so that's the unwrapped table, and as you can see, it's not done a bad job, to be fair. These edges are going to give me some lovely wear, so that's good. Save image as modern table. Change the word support to center, which might be spelled wrong. It could be centre. I can never remember. Okay, close that down, and then apply default map to it, and then make sure that just this piece is exported. Export selected. Modern table center. 01, just in case. Might change my mind later on. I have 3 whole viewers still. I'm pretty excited. Okay, now I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to add a diffuse. Make sure we're using the existing channel. Make sure we've got a nice big map and render. Continue. Okay, while it's doing it, I'm just going to look over here and see if I'm missing anything. I very much doubt it. Pretty sure my pals are off doing stuff. type of thank you message to the guy I got to test the stream. There we go. And close that down. Right, so I'm going to save this as modern table support, modern table center, and this is modern table end. You know, the more I look at that, the more convinced I am that I've actually spelled it wrong. And that center is not spelled that way. Yeah, fuck it. Okay, close the window. Close that. No, I'll just drag this. Now, the reason I want just one plain material is because when I import this into Unreal Engine, if I don't do that, then it's going to assume that it has two materials rather than the one I'm going to create. I mean, you could just export it like this if you don't have Quixel or whatever, and then just apply different materials to the different slots now that it's unwrapped. It's up to you, but I'm not doing it that way. Don't know why really, but I'm not. Okay, modern table support, modern table end. There we go. And it's done. Okay, now I need to start another piece of software called Quixel Suite, which I already had Photoshop running, interestingly enough, so it obviously wants to run a second instance of Photoshop. At least I thought I had Photoshop already running. Go figure. Now I've updated it to the newest version, which is why I'm not getting loads of warning windows. And I think I'm going to do the tabletops first. So start DDO, and it'll give me this lovely screen. While it's doing that, I'm just going to close this down. Yeah, sorry, go ahead. Okay, so this is all saved, and then I can go into the mesh, go into my modern tables, which I think is actually down in the new drive I've assigned for it. So I've got a whole drive now just for the development. See, mood boards and stuff. Stuff. Modern table. Modern table center. There we go. And the material ID map is going to be modern table center color map. Like that. Yeah, that one. Why didn't it do? Oh, I'm not even going to ask. Anyway, that's the thing. And let's have a look. 2048 by 2048. Yes, sorry, why not? Albedo, mountainous, roughness, normal. Yeah, if you want. Okay, create. This will take a little while, but it's totes worth it because I needed these tables. If you're making a clinic, especially a modern looking clinic, and you want it to look like people worked there, you do actually need to build some clinicky things. So see what's happening on the news. It's just about to become Thursday, and it's all about the British election. Well, I'm just crossing my fingers that it doesn't go too horribly. Oh, looks like they've optimised it a bit, which is cool. Although it will ask me if I want to flatten my maps, which isn't sexually innuendo. It'll also work out my curve maps. There we go, keep layers. Yeah, I don't really want to flatten these maps. It's because I'm a cheapskate, so I'm not paying. Well, I'm not a cheapskate. I'm sensible. I'm not paying for Adobe Photoshop every month for the rest of my natural life. My daughter got caught up in that little scam wagon. I'm not doing it. Okay, the first thing we need to do is come up with a nice, good wood. Okay. So, remember, I've got my, what do you call it? My, there we go. Lovely. I've got my notepad open so I can remember. And I'm going to have a first look at the smart materials. If it loads. Smart material. Thank you. Let's see what we've got. We've got any wood? Yeah, there's some wood. Okay, so we've got cherry wood. Cherry wood looks lovely. Oh, look at that mahogany. Isn't that? Oh God, I'm in love with it. Create. By the way, anyone who says anything in the chat channel at the minute will get a word up, because not a lot's happening. Oh, look at that. That, oh, scratches, and oh, I love it. It's all like slightly worn. Filling my heart with good thoughts. This is why I like Quixel. It's like, let's take all the hard work I used to do and then make it impossibly easy. Oh, okay. I used to dread unwrapping and texturing stuff as a big colourblind. And then, you know, now I don't. Right, so I'm just going to assign this material to this colour here. You'll notice there'll be an uncoloured band now going around the wood. There we go, done. So that was lacquered wood mahogany. Just in case I don't remember. Oh, look at that. Lacquered with a CK. Okay. There we go. Lacquered wood mahogany. Let's put that over there so I know what it is. That's like the hardest part. And now I'm going to add maybe a nice metal. I'll just continue using the smart ones if there's any nice ones. Metal. Any nice pure ones. Any gold or something. Gold. There's gold in here. Oh, we've got gold. Polished. Or regular. I think it's you. You're my new gold. Squeaking. Oh, look at that. Solid gold table. Decadent. Okay, right click. Mask layer to IDs. That gold table's really nice actually. A bit silly because, you know. Anyway, I'm just going to click there. And then when I'm done, I'll click done. And then I'll export it. There. So now we have this inlay, okay, that expensive desks have. So now what I can do is I can go to the export panel. And I'm going to set my path, make sure it's the correct one, modern table center, you see. There, it's updated. Export all materials. And it's done. Oh, so nice. Okay, next thing I'm going to do then, close that down, is I'm going to close all. And this way we'll have a nice empty session going on. Close that as well. And this resets. Now my mesh, I've done the center, I'll do the end while it's still fresh in my mind. Get the material ID for the table end color map. There we go. Make sure everything's okay the way I want it. And create. Hello, fourth person. Feel free to say hello because I can see all the chatty stuff, but sadly, obviously I can't hear you all. I'm making tables as game assets. This takes about, well, 2-3 minutes. What it'll do is it'll bake a curve map automatically if I don't have one. And there, keep layers. Just basically prepare this so that I can use it. Doesn't take too long. Don't know how long I've been doing this for now actually. 49 minutes. Cool. Okay, so again I'm going to open 3D viewer, which is like amazing, black magic madness. from Teddy and the guys over at Quixel, who are warlocks, in my opinion. Right. Now remember, the pivot point and everything is set to be the same pivot point as the table base. Sorry, the table stand. Reason for that being, obviously, that it's a lot easier for us to assemble it when it's like that. Right, I'm just gonna go get some wood. And it's that mahogany again, it has to be. Right. Oh. Create. Doesn't take long. If I just move this out of the way, I should be able to anyway. I'll wait for it to finish if it hasn't crashed. Probably shouldn't do things till it's finished. But I'll just show you, like, we've got, you see it creates all the maps behind here and adds extra distress based on edges and stuff. It's so nice. Right. I mean, I could mask in stuff myself, but there's just no point. Now I'm going to mask layer to ID. I don't have to be honest. I could just mask layer to ID on the next layer up, but I'm just doing it anyway. Okay, done. And now we should see the inset part running around the inside in just a moment. Done. Okay, now I'm going to add another smart material. I'm not going to add any wear to this. Sometimes I add wear to things just to make them look more worn, but to be honest, that mahogany's got scratches and things in it already, so I'm not too bothered. Okay. After this, we've only got the stand to do. And we've created a full game asset, and then I'll pull it into the game engine, and you can check it out. So, mask layer to IDs. Yeah, that sounds right. Anyway. And where's full dynamask? No, right. And then all I'm doing is just using my middle mouse button to zoom in and do that. If I knew the F value, you know, the hex value, I could just type it straight in. So there we go. Again, done. Next, go over here to the exporter, set my path, and I want to make sure it's correct, which it should be. Modern table, it's just calling this one. Okay, we'll do that. And export all materials. Okay, and then close this down again. So I should be able to close all. I'm not planning on reworking on the table, so I'm not really that bothered about keeping the various bits that I don't need. Right, next, new mesh. And this will be the center for the support. And from material ID, we'll just find the modern table support color map, which is here. And then we can just create it. Toot toot. Let's see what's going on over on Facebook while I'm doing this. Okay, and something happened there for a moment. Right, oh look at that. Nice to see it's still got a few bugs going on. Although that could be because I didn't close it down properly last time, so keep layers. Let's see what happens. I don't know what it is with some of these. Sometimes you get like real messes. Okay, yeah, you can see there's some like holes in it now. I'll close it down and then reopen it and just see if it clears that problem, but my guess is it's not going in. Too much to hope, really. Yeah. Obviously still a couple of wee bugs going on in the system, but never mind. This isn't what it'll look like when it comes out the other end, so don't worry. Occasionally the Quixel browsy thing has issues. Anyway, I want 2 colours on this, and now let's see what we've got. Oh, chrome, maybe chrome. Got a chrome, so I don't want rusted chrome. Or tarnished chrome, really. Actually, no, bottom chrome could be slightly worse off than the top chrome. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a layer of shitty chrome down, and then I'm going to put a layer of nice chrome down. And if that doesn't work, I'll just apply a different material to it later. Okay, well, I can see that we've got kind of this slightly tarnished chrome at the bottom and top at the minute, which is cool, don't get me wrong. So what I'm going to do now, I think, is change the top half to kind of hardened black plastic. So if I just go over here, and I'll start with the word black. Okay, and get past obviously the weird leathers and things. Aluminiums, polymers, anodized aluminium, could do. Pig iron, well, who doesn't like pig iron? ABS, acrylic, bakelite, oh, do you know bakelite? Bakelite. Wins. Anything happening in the channel? No, of course not. Easy. After this, I'm going to be going into the game engine. So I just want to finish this. So we've got the bakelite and mask layer to ID. And I want to mask that layer obviously to the top half, which is that one. I think I must have left the top layer on by mistake. Foolish of me, never mind. Done. Okay, that works. And then I'm going to press the bye-bye button and make sure it's in the right bit. Just rename that. Modern table stand. Look, it turned into a cube again. Oh, for heaven's sake, shouldn't I just do this? Modern table stand. I'm pretty sure I was supposed to be selecting that. It's trying to bug me, computer. I can see you and I are going to be enemies. Alright, there's an easier way of doing this. I'll just get the path address from over here. So modern table stand. Right, got it. Right, export all materials. Let's see if that works. For some reason it thinks it's a cube again. Okay. This doesn't look good. I wonder what this was. Maybe it broke. I think it did actually. Yeah, it did. Okay, I'll just do this one again. So let's just close Quixel, because Quixel's obviously decided he doesn't want to play anymore. And close all. And then go Quixel. And do this again, because seriously. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this modern table 0 stand thing here. I don't need it yet. And instead, modern table support. I bloody well should be. And then my material ID is. This doesn't work. I'm just going to apply Chrome to it and cheat. Modern table support color map. That's the one. Oh, I see. Look, that's slightly over the top there. Bloody thing. Create. My fault. Not that they'll ever be seen. That's not the point. Right, let's keep this going. Whilst I fart a bit. See, it's still broken. I'm not convinced that we're going to have much of a good time with this. I might just use the Chrome, to be honest, from what do you call it? Unreal Engine. Where have I put? Oh, there we go. Yeah, I think with the slightly off UVs, I'm just going to ignore that. Just come out of that for the moment. Right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my maps down here, my game engine. And let's see, I want to bring my assets in first, so import. And as you can see, I've been doing quite a bit of stuff. So modern table. 1, 2, 3. Those 3 there. So let's bring them in. Okay, so I've got these all brought in. They appear to just be colour maps because I brought the wrong ones in. Some of it's stupid. Oh, maybe I'm just too tired. I don't know. Delete. Just import. Right, so not the colour maps, it's the FBXs this time. And import all. Okay, so that gives us these 3 parts here. Now I need to start importing the actual textures, so do them one at a time. I'm only going to import 2 of them anyway, so modern table, here we are. God, look at that. Actually this worked, oh no, weirdly. Let's see how well these work, shall we? You in. Probably gone back down to, oh my god, still 4 viewers. Madness. I've got a feeling that let's go over here and make a material. I open that up. I'm not going to see very much in the modern table support albedo. Yeah, it's just a single bloody colour, so okay, well, there's no point in having those. Let's get rid of them. Yes, and there's no point taking the modern table support material then, is there? Delete. Okay, and instead I'm going to import the other ones. I had a feeling they hadn't worked, but it was worth looking. Modern table. And we've got center and other one. Modern table center. That one, that one, that one, and that one. Open. I have. Hello, Lost Cosmonaut. How are you today? Sorry, nearing the end of this one, I'm absolutely bushed at the moment. Right, so what I'm doing is I'm just applying this texture to the table. So, open that up first. Right click on this and I'm going to create a material from it. I used to be able to. Right, yep, there it is, create material. and take out the word albedo and the extra underscore, and open that one up as well. There we go. Doesn't take much. Now we should have the albedo in there. There she blows. That's a song by another band my son will be seeing, I believe, on Saturday. I think it's Saturday. Now, roughness and metallic. Okay, so the metallic, we're going to pop here, and this controls a lot of our shininess. And then our specular, which it assures me is actually called roughness, is specular, because we're using a metallic specular workflow. But if we throw a single in here and make it 0.125, then we will get some nice shinies going on. See? Which gives us a very nice shiny over polished table. Okay, click save. Oh, don't worry, Lost Cosmonaut. It's you'll be able to catch up easy enough. It's pretty similar to the last one. It's just this time it's got audio. Right, now I'm just going to drag that over to there, and as you can see now we have this lovely shiny panel, which makes me glad. Next, I'm going to take this, and this, and if you remember from last time, I'm going to wonder where the rest of my content is. Hang on a second. Oh, for God's sakes, we're in the map section. Why is this in the maps? Oh, I swear I'm getting stupider every day. Let me just do that and drag these to clinic assets. Move here. Can't believe I moved them all into the wrong bloody area. So typical. Right, now what I'm going to do is take our materials, there, and there, and drop them in our text. Well, they're textures technically, so drop them in our textures. Leave here. Then I'm going to take our modern table center material, stick it in mats. Okay, and that's done. Next, modern table end. Pretty sure I can hear my wife's little dog wombling about upstairs. Now I'm going to import and a modern table. Move on these bits. See, we've lost a viewer. Every time I lose a viewer, an angel gets shot in the face by Donald Trump. So, something for you to remember, guys. Again, create material, and I know it's not as interesting as doing Mario in like 5 seconds or something, but I'll not say you can make your own Mario game, because trust me, you probably can't. There's not that many infinite monkeys, but you could make yourself, you know, something Mario-esque. Metallic, nearly done. The metallic goes in there. Now the roughness goes here. No, it doesn't. I've got that mixed up. The roughness actually goes into specular. And I press 1 and click here, drag that to there, and type in 0.125, and now it's shiny. See? Very shiny, in fact. Save. Okay, close that down. Trump, the talk of the town, and yeah, trust me, it's talk of the town everywhere, unfortunately. He insulted London's mayor, which is never a good plan. Londoners get fiercely proud of their mayors, even if they don't always support the political party involved. Okay, textures, move here. And this material to here. Throw up that and go to content. And funny enough, some of these maps are really useful materials. Sorry, on something like that one. Nice brushed chrome, and that's that. Click save. Okay, these are all done. And now if I go to my clinic assets, and I'm just going to quickly test them out. So file, new level, default, there we go. And modern table support goes there. Modern table center. Okay. Modern table end, which I should be able to just place. Huh, didn't get it right, but never mind. Unlit. Okay. And then just down there. Bring it around. Let's get them lined up a bit. There we go. And then just angle it and do a spin. And then I get 3 legs and go 1, 2, like so. And then if I go to lighting and get a skylight, change unlit to lit. Just stand next to it. There we go, and that is a mahogany modern clinic table. All working. There we go. So for anyone who watched that, I hope you found it useful. If you weren't watching, it doesn't matter. I still made a new asset for clinic. See you next time. Bye bye.